Welcome back. Starting off is a great show, and I can tell you that the calls look so interesting tonight. It's what a group. Who do we have?
Okay, we have Chris on line 2 who is having problems at school.
Chris.
Hello.
Hi, Chris.
Hello.
How old are you, Chris?
I'm 14.
What's the problem, Chris?
I have this real terrible fear of school.
When did it start?
Actually, I've had it my whole life because, I'm sort of fat.
What do you mean?
I'm overweight kid, and kids often see that as a great opportunity to make fun of me.
What do you weigh?
About 160 pounds.
How tall are you?
I think about 5'7".
Okay, that's not bad. That's pretty easily fixable. But that's the excuse, right?
I suppose you could call it that.
I just did.
Oh, yes.
Okay. All right, so that the excuse, if you lost 20 pounds, you'd be fine, right?
I suppose so.
Okay. So 20 pounds is not an overweight kid. It's a little overweight.
Okay.
And you haven't been overweight your whole life, have you?
Yes.
How much more overweight than this have you been?
About 20 or 30 pounds, I suppose.
Okay. All right. I noticed a couple things that we're going to pick up and talk to you about in a second.
Mm-hmm.
Chris, so you haven't been to school since when?
November.
And how come?
Because, one thing I really dreaded was recess. I'd have nobody to hang around, and if you don't have friends, you're real susceptible to kids coming up and, really drilling you into the ground.
How often has that happened, in fact?
Oh,
This year?
This year? I'd think,
The truth.
20 or 30 times would be a good number.
So that's about once a week?
Once a week. I think more than that.
And what do they say to you?
They kick me in the butt, and,
They say what?
a group of girls would pick out, like, 2 scouts, quote unquote, and they'd send them over to talk to me because my voice is real peculiar. And they'd ask me, like, what month were you born, or how old am I? And when I was 11, I used to say 11 because I had trouble pronouncing my L's.
Mm-hmm. How did you correct that?
I went to a speech therapist,
Uh-huh.
and then I started projecting more, and I guess it really hasn't been a problem.
Okay. Do you still want to do some work on your voice?
Yeah.
Are you still seeing a speech therapist?
No.
I would go back to the speech therapist.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Let me tell you what else I would do.
Yes.
I would get involved in a gym working an hour and a half a day.
Mm-hmm.
Well, in a class where you do aerobics and some weight, and you work on reshaping your body. You're 5'7", you can bring that down to 140 pounds and really look good. But it's something you're going to have to do. See, you're in hiding, and that's not going to work. You're hiding from reality. Are you keeping up with your schoolwork?
We're supposed to go get the books tomorrow for me to study, and we're getting a home tutor.
Wait a second. So for the last 6 months, you haven't been studying?
No.
What do you do all day, pal?
It's pretty much self-explanatory. Just sit at home and watch television.
Why do you watch television?
Because I'm physically unfit, and it's real hard for me to get out and exercise.
Well, the reason you're physically unfit is because you sit around and watch television. You're turning yourself into a couch potato.
True.
You've got to listen. Do you know how you get better? I'm going to tell you.
Okay.
You stop doing the things you know that are bad for you.
Mm-hmm.
That's all you do. And it's the same thing for everyone. And what you've become afraid of is fear itself. There is no worse thing you can be afraid of than being afraid.
Mm-hmm.
So you've created this whole life for yourself. Everything that's wrong with you is your creation.
Uh-huh.
Now you've gotten rid of the speech problem with the L's. You can learn how to make your voice sound from a lower place.
One other thing, every time I call the operator for like assistance and getting a number or something, they always call me ma'am. And recently when I was in a...
because your voice is a little higher, and you've got to learn to bring it down.
Not only that, I'm sort of feminine looking. For instance, I was in a fast food place and I was ordering some food, and this guy saw me, and he probably thought I was a little girl with a bad ego, so he said, "Oh, hello, ladies."
Hey, Chris.
Yes?
You can fix this, but you can't fix it watching television. You have to get yourself enrolled in a gym program.
Mm-hmm.
Your folks don't sound like they're very awake.
I suppose not.
I mean, how did you get to a speech program? Who sent you there?
It was at,
I mean, whose idea was to put you in a speech?
while I was in school. It was my mom's idea.
Okay. You need to go to a gym.
Mm-hmm.
You need to be working out regularly.
Yeah.
You need to rebuild your body. You've got to shut the television off. Do you understand?
Absolutely.
Television is created for morons. Did you know that?
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I say that, you can believe me, because, you have to be a moron to watch television.
I hope this isn't lowering your ratings.
Who cares?
No.
I'm trying to raise your self-esteem.
Thank you.
Shut off the television set.
Right now?
Not right now, Ninny. God, what am I doing with you?
Well, I'm sure you understand I'm a tad nervous. Oh, that's normal. Yeah.
Well, of course, but you're not weird. You're making yourself weird, though. You're sensitive, you're bright, you're open, and a lot can happen. I think you need speech therapy to learn how to make the voice lower. I think you need to work out. I think you've got to get back into a learning situation. What do you want to do with your life, by the way?
To tell you the absolute truth, I want to become a psychiatrist, and the main reason is because I watch you.
Well, the person on the couch is not the psychiatrist, but the patient. So get your butt off the couch. And it takes a lot of, people who are sensitive and people who are hurt as easily as you sometimes become very good shrinks, but only if they don't shrink away from life. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Okay. You've got to make an assault on your life. You know what I want you to do? I want you to get some 3x5 cards. And on each card, I want you to write a goal. Lose 20 pounds. Tighten up the body. Lower the voice. Start reading. Get back to school. Put each of those up on the wall. Those are your plans. Every day you look at them and you think, how are you going to get closer to it? But you've got to get into a gym. You've got to trim off the baby fat. You've got to build up some muscles. Get a little definition. Stop stuffing your face, get off the couch, shut off the television, and start walking and running.
Okay.
The next thing is something that I was going to tell you about, before I said I'll mention it later. Now, what I'm going to tell you about now is something that's going to be a little more difficult to hear.
Okay.
It's about your attitude.
My attitude.
Yeah, your attitude is a defensive attitude of casualness. Okay, is that so? You sound like you don't really care. The truth is, you wouldn't be calling me unless you did care, right?
Yes.
All right. What you need to do is you need to get a tape recorder.
Dave, I think it's more of my tone, because I usually try to compliment people and they think I'm being sarcastic.
But that's because you're making the voice coming from here. I try to talk to people, but I make it sound sarcastic. That's how you sound. What I want you to do is to get a tape recorder and listen to where your sound comes from. It comes from the nose. And
Hearing myself on television is a real big shock.
Well, the point is, what I want you to do is to start listening to your voice on a tape recorder. We don't want you talking like that. It's not the right sound to make. Sincerity comes from a little bit lower. Tape recorder, speech therapist, gym, everything else I mentioned. Get off the couch, shut off the television, and you've got a lot of work to do.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay.
You take care.
Dave, one more thing.
Sure.
If Arsenio Hall was watching, could I tell him hi?
I think you just did.
Oh. Well, thank you very much for your advice.
Okay. You want me to send them over to your house?
Nothing.
Okay. I'm just offering. I'll have people make home deliveries if it helps. We'll be right back. You stay tuned. If I could send someone to make you better, I would too.